Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat with Gina K. I am excited to have you all here with me this evening, and I'm just looking at all the comments already, and some of you stayed up really late across the pond, and some of you are coming in all the way from Australia, and it's morning there. I'm so honored to have you all here this evening, and I hope you guys can all hear me okay. So I usually start off just making sure that everybody can hear me both on Facebook and on YouTube. So if somebody from Facebook could just say, yep, we can hear you, and same on YouTube, if somebody could make that comment, that would be really great. Okay, good. On YouTube, the sound is great. Let's see, and Facebook. Thank you, Kathy. The sound is good there too. Well, welcome. It is Merry Monday, and tonight I'm going to be making a Christmas card with you guys. Now, I did say in the description that I was going to be using snowman stamps, snowmen, and a stencil. And I just changed my mind at the last minute. I'm still using snowmen, but instead of a stencil, I'm going to do a different kind of background. So you guys can do any kind of background you want if you're playing along with me. Maybe you can do something similar, but I will show you the stamp set that I'm going to use for the background tonight, just in case you guys have something similar. This is our Tall Pines stamp set. So I'm going to do some trees in the background. So if you have some kind of trees, doesn't have to be a whole stamp like this. It can be single trees that you can stamp going across, just something similar to that. Okay, so I like to start each live with kind of a theme, maybe a quote. And tonight's theme is patience. And I don't know about you, but I have been struggling a lot with patience lately. Patience is not my friend. So I don't know, like every time I turn on the news, it seems like we're kind of going a little bit further out. Now today we're going to be all stuck together until the end of April. Not that I mind that. I absolutely love being here with you guys. But of course, it is going to be fun that day when we can all open our doors and go out and hug our neighbors. So patience is my theme tonight. And I found a great quote by Joyce Meyer. I don't know if any of you follow Joyce Meyer, but she's wonderful and she's inspirational. And her quote is, patience is not the ability to wait. It's the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. And so that's what I'm hoping to try to do. I may not even like the waiting, but I'm going to try my best to have a good attitude and use my time to do things that maybe will serve others in a way with card making. And also, I am really enjoying going into work and picking and packing your orders. So that's been really fun for me because I get to sign my initials and do a little smiley face or a heart on your invoice. And so that's been really keeping us going. So thank you so much. Okay, so tonight I decided to do a Christmas card using snowmen, these tall trees, the tall pines, and then, I don't know if you guys have anything similar to this, but this is our Picket Fence Die, and I'm going to use this, and I'm going to try to do, I have no idea if this is going to work out, but I'm going to try to do some trees in the background, and then this picket fence kind of blocking them off, and then the snowmen kind of standing in front of the fence. And I'm even going to try to hang a little banner that says Merry Christmas onto this. So we'll see how it goes. So I had a question here. Somebody asked, do I collect lapel pins? Yes, I have a whole bunch of them back here that I collect. And I want to show you one that we have that we are going to start with our next release. I think the first 100 orders or so will get these. This is a Gina K Designs pin. So I don't know if you guys can see that clear enough, but it's kind of a fun little pin. It's a wreath. So yes, I sure do collect pins and I love them. Let's see, I've got them from lots of my favorite stamp companies. And then I also have some really fun ones that I got from the Gray Muse. And also, we have enamel pins in our brick and mortar store in Greendale, Wisconsin. Lots of fun ones. art style pins. So yes, I like pins. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my other camera here onto the side, that side there. And the first thing I want to do is a little bit of wood graining. So I have a piece of craft cardstock here, and I'm going to use some warm cocoa ink. And let's see here. So to wood grain this, it's going to be very easy. I don't have to really worry about it looking super like wood grain. I just want to give the die some texture. When I cut it out, the die cut some texture. So I'm just going to do some lines going down like this, just to kind of give it a little bit of a woodsy look. I think that'll be pretty good. There we go. Now I'm going to cut this out using the Picket Fence die, and I'm going to actually switch over just to the front shot now, because this is kind of it's hard to get the die cutting machine into my camera underneath, because my camera's kind of low, so you get a little bit of a closer up view. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm actually using the Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine. That is my favorite die cutting machine. I have two favorites right now. I'm really hooked on the Platinum 6 by Spellbinders, and then I also really like the Gemini, and that's an electric one. It's not electronic like a Silhouette or a Scan and Cut. It's electric. You plug it in, you push the pads through, and it automatically does the cranking for you. So they are the two machines that I really like. I always love the Cuttlebug, but they don't make that anymore, and that's a very, very nice little machine. So, all right, so I did my die cut thing. Now let's see how it looks. All right, I can dig this here. Let's see. Here we go. So does that look like wood grain to you? Kind of like an old wood fence? Maybe if I hold it up this way, you can see it a little better. Kind of, yeah, it's not too bad. And once that ink dries, I think that it'll lighten up a little bit, and it'll just give it a nice texture. Oh, that's funny. Somebody said, let me see, where can I find that? The comments are moving so fast. Here we go. We should all be in, I should be in my PJs. We all are. That's true. Maybe I'll do that on the next live, the Wednesday Whimsy live. Maybe I can do that with my PJs on. I actually came home from work today and just had not very much time. Oh, I want to show you this too real quick. So these are the scraps that are left behind, and I'm going to hold on to these because that's 2 more fences. So I can make at least 3 of these cards out of 1 of these pieces of stock. And that was just a quarter sheet of cardstock. So yeah, so I came home with just enough time to grab a few stamp sets and get ready to go live. Okay, so that's that. Now let me see if I have a piece of white cardstock, and I do. So I'm going to use this stamp set tonight. This is called Winter Cheer. And for those of you who have been with me for a long time, this was in a Stamp TV kit. And it's been for sale for years outside of a kit. So I'm going to use the 2 snowmen in this, and then I'm going to use this little banner here that says Merry Christmas. And then I also have the coordinating die set. And for those of you that are new to Gina K Designs, all of our die sets, the ones that are actual sets, not the single dies and not the shapes like the circles and ovals, but the ones that coordinate with our stamps, they come on these magnetic sheets, and these are thick magnetic sheets. You can see that doesn't really bend. These are made by Stamp & Storage. So if any of you have ever tried their magnetic sheets, and the dies do not come off, they are on there. This is a strong magnet. And so it makes it nice because it's a thick board, and all of our dies come already detabbed, so you don't have to cut anything apart. So I like that because I tend to poke myself and stuff when I try to cut my dies apart. So that's the way they come for you. So I'm going to be using the coordinating die set, and then I'm going to stamp. Let me find a block here. I will use, I have the square block and I have the round block. Let's see which one fits. Oh, that'll be fine. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use a little Copic with this. So I'm going to use some of the black ink, and this is just the Gina K Designs Black Onyx ink. You can use our amalgam ink for this too if you don't know how you want to color it yet, but I definitely know I'm going to use Copic markers. So I'm going to stamp that guy. That's cute. And then I'm going to stamp the other snowman too. So let me get him out. I can actually make this a full screen. Let's see if I can do that here. Here we go. Okay, excuse my mouse being in the way. I'm going to take another piece of cardstock here because I probably should have turned it sideways to stamp them, but I didn't, so I'll have to stamp something small on my scrap there at another time. And I'm going to stamp this guy. He's holding a little star. You guys are going to have to help me with some decisions here because I'm definitely going to use red for this card, but I don't know if I should go traditional red and green or if I should go a little bit more whimsical red and turquoise. So if you guys have any opinions about what colors you like to see for holiday cards, I would love to know if you want me to go red and green or red and turquoise. So I'm going to just peek up at your comments. Let's see. I have a couple different, oh, more traditional, Jane? Okay, I can certainly do that. More traditional. Whimsical? Well, maybe I'll do one traditional one, and then maybe later with my extra picket fence, I'll make a whimsical one, and then I can share it in our Facebook group. And for those of you that are new to me, maybe you got ended on YouTube as a next up video, I do have a Facebook group. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends, and we do a lot of sharing over there. So if you are in the mood for a Facebook group, it's a private group. We have about 18,000 members, and we'd love to have you. Okay, so I'm going to make this one red, and I'm just going to color it straight away red. The marker I'm using is R46, and that's called Strong Red. Now, I'm not going to do any fancy shading, but I am going to do a little texturizing with my colorless blender pen. So this is where, if you don't know what to make, you can just stamp and cut a bunch of snowmen and sit and watch good Netflix shows or listen to podcasts and just color away. And then these will be all ready for your holiday cards when you are in the mood to do the complete card. So I'm leaving those white, the stripes in there white, and I'm just going to color that part red like that. And then I'm also going to color his scarf red. I don't know if he is a he or a she, but I'm just making them red and green so they can be whatever they want. All right. It is very relaxing to color. If you missed our Flashback Friday video, we all kind of did some colored pencils with Gamsol, and then a bunch of our friends shared what they made in the forum. Now, I don't have the right color marker here, so I'm just going to grab a colored pencil that was sitting there and color his nose in. And I'll color the star to match his nose, because I forgot all about that part of the snowman. Okay, so I'm going to color this one in a traditional green. Of course, I have like 10 greens here because I didn't know which green would look good. So this is apple green. This might be like way too bright. No, it's kind of fun. And then this is moss. All right, guys, which one? I'm going to leave this one up to you. Moss, which is the bottom one, or this apple green. I expected that to be a lot like brighter, more vibrant, and I actually really like it. It seems like kind of a primary green. Okay, all right. There's a bunch of mosses here. There's a couple apples. Oh, more mosses. Okay, so moss wins. You know I'm going to do that apple, though, at some point, because that is a cute color. Okay, so I'm going to color the top of his hat and his scarf to match. So I have a red one and a green one. And then I'll add a little texture. So I love the Copic colorless blender pen, and I have the sketch one that has this kind of brush tip on it. But I did buy this one, and this is the Copic original marker. And I like this one because it has a bullet tip. Now, I know you can get bullet tips for your sketch markers now. And I think that if you can, you could replace the chisel end, because I never use the chisel end. I'm sure some of you do, especially if you're artists, you know how to use it. I don't know how to use it, so it never gets used. And it would be nice to have a chisel on one end and a bullet on the, and a brush on the other end. So, but I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to do just little stripes going down like that. And that is just adding a little bit of texture. You'll be able to see this card. I'll post it, I hope, if it turns out. I'll post it in our Facebook group so you guys can head over there and see it. I'll also put it on our Facebook page. We have the Gina K Designs Facebook page, and that is where the videos are posted. They're shared everywhere else. So if you ever want to share the video, it's public. You don't have to find it in a group or anything. You can watch it right from our Facebook page and share it wherever you want. Let's add a little bit more stripage. Stripage, that's a new word. And then I think on the hat, I'll do a crisscross thing, and I'm sure that's kind of hard to see. Maybe you can see that a little bit, but you'll definitely be able to see it in the photo that I show later. So that makes it look a little bit more plaid. And I like that look for holiday cards. I don't know, plaid always seems very whimsical to me. Okay, maybe I could do a little bit down here too, but I can't see that as well. But definitely up there I can see it. Okay, and for this one, I'm going to do a little bit more green here. And then I'm going to do some just simple polka dots using that colorless blender. And then I definitely have to do his carrot nose. Okay. Wow, there's so many of you here, and I'm so honored to have you here. Great to see you, everybody. I also wanted to just say that if you guys are watching it live right now, but if it's not Monday night between 7 and 8 o'clock Central Time, then you might be watching a replay. And I appreciate you guys coming by and watching the replay. So I added some little dots there, and I don't know if you can see that texture coming through. I think you probably can. I see it on my screen, so I think you guys can too. And we'll put some of those little dots on his scarf as well. It seems like they lighten up with the second layer, so I try to go back and remember where I put the dots. It's not always easy, but that should be pretty good. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this yellow-orange pencil there. And that's only because I totally forgot my orange marker. Now I have two different grays. I have N3. Let me excuse my arm. I have N3. That's a little dark. And then I have C1. I'm going to use C1, and I'm just going to do a little bit of shadow under the hat there. and then a little bit underneath the scarf, and maybe just a little bit down the body. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. This is obviously not hard to do, but it just adds a tiny little bit of depth. I like doing that. And of course, I'm putting my shadows in opposite directions, like I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't, but that's okay. So there's my two little snowmen. Now, before we cut these guys out, because I want to do the greeting and everything all at the same time, so I'm going to put these aside, and then I'm going to get my Misty stamping tool, and we are going to add some trees. So I have a piece of cardstock cut 4 3/4 inches by 3.5, I think. Yeah. Now, I really want this stamp to be able to go across like the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I've got this tiny little bit of purple tape left, and I'm going to just tack it down lightly just on the edge here, because I don't want it to move. And I'm putting it into kind of a box on my Misty mat here. But just a tiny little bit of it is going to hold it in place. And then I have used this stamp many times before, because this was a big holiday stamp last season. So I'm going to start by stamping this one kind of up at the top here, like this. I'm actually going to go off a little bit too at the top. So my first pass, well, that didn't hold it down, but that's okay, because I really want this to be super light. So even if it doesn't all stamp, it doesn't matter. I want this to be a background, and I'm not even going to use the tape. How's that? I'm just going to make sure that I keep it at the 2.5 inch mark, and then 3 squares in. This way, if I have to redo it, it'll be close enough. Now I have a piece of white cardstock here, another piece, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up this stamp really well with some soft stone ink. Soft stone is a very light gray, but it's not as light as our Whisper. But Whisper is almost too light for what I want to do here. So let's see how this works. I'm going to first stamp it on this piece. And then I'm going to stamp it on this piece. And I'm going to get a little bit of dark spots because the whole thing didn't transfer, but that's all right. So I just want that to look very misty in the background. And that it does. So now I'm going to clean it. And I'm going to do another layer. Actually, that is so pretty though. Let me just see what it looks like before I go ahead and do the second layer, what that looks like with the fence. That's really kind of cool, isn't it? I'm going to go for it though. All right. I hope I'm not mad at myself. So this one, I'm going to kind of wedge in between those trees. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Make sure it's in around the same spot. And then back to that 2.5 inch mark and 3 squares in. That's how we measure around here. I'm going to give it full strength soft stone. This is a big stamp, and because it's a clear stamp, sometimes you have to stamp it more than once. Rubber stamps seem to just kind of work a little bit better on that first pass. They're really big backgrounds. Okay. So I'm just going to really put some pressure on it here. Okay. So you can see trees in the background and trees in the foreground, and then the fence is going to go across here. I kind kind of like it. I have to wait until the ink dries though, because the ink will dry up a little lighter. You can see that that ink is a little darker than the lid itself, so it's going to dry up a little bit. I do like that first pass where it was just kind of splotchy. It really was mystical looking. It looked almost like the forest on a misty morning where there's fog kind of laying low. Okay, so let's go back to this over here. Oh, there I am. Hello. Let's not go solo. There we go. Okay, and now what I'm going to do next is, well, I should probably clean my hands because, of course, I touched it and got a little marking on it. Thank goodness I'm cutting it out. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my MISTI again, and I'm going to stamp my greeting. So the greeting I want to do, I think, in red. It would look nice in black, though, too. And you guys know that I'm kind of a freak about always wanting to have some black in every card. So I'm going to use the Merry Christmas, but I think I'm going to try red. If I don't like it, I'll stamp it in black. We'll see. So I'm going to use Red Velvet, which is kind of like a real, true, deeper red. It's not real dark like a cherry or a cranberry, like our cherry or cranberry, but it's a real true vibrant red. And our Red Hot has just a tinge of orange in it, where this is just pure red. So let's go with this one. I think this is going to look good in red. All right. Yeah, I like that. Now I could darken it up a little bit by giving it a second pass, and I think I'll do that. Wow, there's a lot of comments, and I'm so sorry, guys. I've been missing some of them here. It is great to, yes, red will show up nice on the fence. It is great to see all of you that have just joined us. All right, we'll give it another try here. Oh, nope, that's not going to be right. So I'm going to have to flip that around. I think I moved my cardstock. So we'll do another one. Sometimes if you haven't used stamps in a while, you actually want to stamp them one time before you actually stamp them on your project. I don't know why that is. Maybe there's just a little film of ink that I didn't clean off very well last time, and it just kind of needs to be reactivated or something. So I'm going to go with that one. And now it's time for me to do some die cutting. So we're going to hope for the best on this die cutting. I don't have any little, maybe I should make some, because we have time. We've got lots of time. So I think what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to go front face here. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a little cutout of each of the dies first. And I like to do this because a lot of times I don't line up the dies properly, and then they just, you know, they're not cut out perfectly, and that sometimes it bugs me. So I'm going to make what I call these like little templates. So I'll do that. Sorry if I shook the front camera. I ran the trays right into the to the computer. Okay, so here's what I mean. I made these little templates here, and I'm going to get some scissors and cut them in half. So this way I can use each of them separately. I'm going to use my Brutus Monroe scissors. I really like these scissors. And Christopher Allen was so kind to give me a pair to try, and I've been using them ever since. They're really good. Now I'm also going to keep these two little pieces because I can stamp those with black ink and color them with colored pencils, and that would be kind of a warmer, folkier kind of look. So I don't want to throw those away. And then I also want to make a little template for the greeting. So I have that little greeting die, and I'm going to cut that out too. And then I am going to do these one at a time because I really want to try to get them as perfect as possible. So we will see. I wonder if my phone messages come up on my camera, but I don't see them, so that's probably a good thing. And oh, I just dropped the die, but I don't, oh yeah, I do need it. I gotta cut the thing out. I'll be right back. Gotta try to pick this up. Okay, I'm back. So now I'm gonna cut this bottom template out, and then I'm gonna go overhead so you guys can see what I mean here. So let me kind of move my die cutting machine into view a little bit, see if this works. Okay. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my image and I'm going to take that little template and I want to lay the template so that I have a nice even white edge around the entire snowman. So let's kind of do that this way. This way I know it's going to look really even. And then I'm going to use some purple tape to tape down the template onto that white piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to take the die and I'm going to drop it down into the template. I can feel it snap into place. And then I can use another piece of purple tape to secure that die so it doesn't move. And then that should give me even die cutting. And I can keep that template and use it over and over again. All right, so now I'm going to move this out of the way and I'm going to go back to this shot so you don't have to watch me struggle. And I'm going to cross my fingers that nothing shifts. And let's see what we have here. Oh, yes. So here's that little guy with the perfect edges. Let me show you on the overhead here. So you can see it's cut out really nicely. Especially with stick legs or stick arms, not stick legs, but stick arms like this. Sometimes things shift around and it's nice to be able to get that all centered nicely. So that's a little die cutting tip for you if you've never seen me do that in one of my videos. So now, and this is what it looks like when I take it out. So it's still all together, and then I can keep this little template and keep it with my stamp set in the pocket to use it another time. Okay. So now I'm going to get that other template that I made, and I'm going to do the same thing again. So I want to line that up so it looks perfect. And sometimes I don't know what it is, but I can look at it and line it all up perfectly. And then I put the die, you know, I start feeding it through, and I don't know if it just starts to slowly shift, but this seems to really help me get them centered. And I can look at it and decide, oh, you know, I wish there was a little more white space there or over here. So that should do it. Okay. Take this one down over here. Now I need to find that die and snap that in. You can just feel it. See, this would take much less time in a regular video because I would just edit all this struggle out. But now you know I do struggle. Okay, so now I'm going to cut that one out, and then we'll do the greeting. So these are kind of fun to just cut and color. And actually, I would recommend cutting before you color if you can. There we go. Here's that little guy. I'll put him here. I'd recommend cutting them out first before you color them, because then if you get a bad cut, you didn't put all that work into it. And so the final one is the little greeting. And we're going to do the same exact thing with that. Get my messes out of the way. And the die cutting machine. Okay. So that's cute. I like this greeting. It's not big, but it's perfect for hanging on the fence. And I agree, the red will stand out a little bit more against the fence than maybe black would. We'll snap that in and tape it down. I definitely need to get myself some more 1/2-inch purple tape. I use it all the time. Okay, so now we're going to run it through the die cutting machine. Here we go. That's very squeaky. Does your die cutting machine squeak? Mine's very squeaky. Okay, and see how cute that is? And it's just so perfect. And I would not be able to do that unless I tape everything down. Okay, I'm gonna get that out of the way. And this die cutting machine I'm gonna put away. And then we're going to go on to our assembly. Okay, let's see what else we have. So I have, of course, I have some black cardstock, and I feel like I need to put my trees on black to make that whole thing pop. Let me grab my tape. So I'm going to use my tape runner for this. And tape that down. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad some of you like the template technique. That definitely does, it does help. Okay, so now, I guess I should have done this first. But I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna do it first. I'm gonna peel that off. See, the great thing about this tape is it gives you a little time. It's forgiving. So you have a little bit of time before you actually can't remove it anymore. So I could put this on with some Connect glue, or I can roll tape on it and it will just go right through the holes onto my scrap paper. So I think I'm going to do it that way for now. Now I know Jennifer McGuire, she likes to layer die cut pieces together to thicken them up. And if you do that, you definitely can use the Connect glue for that. Should I put that down there? Yeah, I think I should put it down near the bottom. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to turn it over to cut them because I can't really see it well if I did it the other side, but I can see it a lot better over here by flipping it upside down. See, that's hard for me to see where I should be cutting, but here I know exactly where to cut. Okay, there's the little fence. Put a little bit more tape there since I've touched it all. And then we'll put that back. So if we want this to be a more traditional card, I feel like we should use red for it. And that's what that would look like. But if we want it to be a little bit more maybe whimsical, it might be nice to use some craft cardstock. And this is what that would look like. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Craft or red? Let's see what you guys say. I'm going to wait. Let's look at it again. So here's the craft look. And then here's the red look. All right, got a lot of reds. It looks like red is winning. Oh, wait a minute now. Craft might be winning. Oh, maybe. I think we need a poll. Is there the ability to do a poll here? I'll have to talk to Alicia about that. She's the mastermind behind these cards. I mean, this setup. So, all right. You know what? We can judge a little bit better by looking what these guys will look like standing in front of it and then having this kind of hanging between them. So now, do you guys like the red more? Or does the craft make the focal image pop more? I kind of think the craft does. Okay. So craft is for calm people. Somebody just said, where did her comment go? That was so funny. She said, craft is for the calm people and red is for the wild people like me. I can't find your comment, but that was pretty funny. Okay, so since my theme tonight is peace, I'm going to go with craft. But now I don't really have a craft card base. So give me 1 second to get a piece. I have to go in my cabinet. I'll be right back. Okay. Because I was 100% sure that I was going to use red, and now I'm going to use craft since my theme is peace. I'll use red when I make the one with the turquoise. So this way we'll have both cards to look at. So are any of you guys making, everybody's like, all the red people are still fighting for red. Definitely red. Yeah. Craft. Okay. I don't want to start a war. This is a peaceful live. Okay. So I'm going to go with craft. I'm going to score this at, oh, you probably want to see what I'm doing, right? All right. So I'm going to score this at 4 1/4 inches and smooth that crease down. All right. Don't leave. Everybody's leaving who wanted red. I'm just kidding. Don't leave. Okay. So we'll put that onto the craft base. That would be fun for just about anything. I mean, if you even wanted just to put one little snowman there and just have the banner, that would be cute too. But let's put the banner in the center and then we'll pop the snowmen up. Ooh, I just have to see. I wonder if I can still do this. Could I get them to go behind? I wiggle them down there. Is that cute to have them behind? That's kind of cute, isn't it? You guys are here in my thought process. I kind of like these guys just wiggled in behind the fence. Like that, like they're just, and they're greeting you at their gate. Oh yes, behind is cuter. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do that. So what I'm gonna do here, because I didn't think to do that, is I'm going to just add a little bit on the top. Oh, Teddy, don't bark now, hon. All right, and we'll have his little arm kind of hanging over the edge. And then this guy, we'll just tape his head. If my dogs start barking, I'm going to start jumping up and down on the floor and hopefully Tom will come and rescue me. Okay, and then yes, because there the banner looks so cute. Oh yes, definitely. Love it, love it. Now I think I'm gonna pop the banner up. Well, let's just see what that would look like. If the banner was popped up a little bit. No, I think it has to be attached, like it's actually attached to the fence. I'm gonna do it flat right on there. Oh, this is fun. I like this little card. Now getting it in the center. Teddy, be quiet. I'm live. Okay, what do you guys think? Isn't that fun? Oh, I like it. I still want to make one though where I only use that little bit of a shadow back there because I do like the trees being bright and kind of popping out in the front, but I also think that that misty look is kind of cool and it really makes the forest look like it's way in the back and not so close to them. So there's my finished card. All right, another Christmas card done. But yes, I do agree. We have to do one with the red for sure, because I think that, well, let's just look at it too. because I still have time. We'll just look at it. For everybody who wanted it red, this is what it would look like red. And that's really cute too. Oh, yes, shimmer on the trees. That's a great idea. Put a little bit of glitter on the trees, or even maybe a little bit of sparkle pen, although I don't have a sparkle pen at home here. I do have a white gel pen, but I don't know if that would work. Would you be able to see that? Should I test it on here? It's kind of scary. Let me test it like on this color here. I don't know. Maybe later I'll get my Connect glue and I'll use some of the loose glitter and just add some glitter. I feel like it would be easier to control if I use a glitter pen, and I don't have a glitter pen here at home. Look at these guys. They are social distancing. They are 6 feet apart in little tiny snowmen feet. That is perfect. Oh, goodness, guys. I'm going nuts tonight. I cut my bangs. These are actually my real bangs, and I cut them. Have any of you guys resorted to cutting your own hair? I think I saw Justine Hovey and Mary Polanco. They both cut their own hair and posted pictures of it, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I decided I was just going to get my Bruce Monroe scissors and just cut my hair. So I cut my bangs. I just grabbed them in the front, and I squeezed everything together into the center, and I did one cut. And what happened was, in the center, they were a little bit shorter, and then they kind of fringed down. So that's the way I cut my bangs. So here's my card. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Oh, you did? Marcia cut her bangs. Yes, my two little social distancing snowmen. Yeah, I should have Rena cut them. I'll do that next time. I was stressed because I just gotten out of the shower, and I don't know about you guys, but like I have a window of time where I have to dry my hair or it doesn't dry right. It starts to dry naturally too much, and I needed the bangs cut right away. And sometimes when I cut my bangs or when I get my hair cut, it's like my hair goes into shock. And the first day that it's styled, I can't, it's scared or something. So I was really hoping it would all work out, and I had to get to work to pack orders. So I just did the quick snip, and this is it. Oh, yes. So Michelle's a beautician. I'm sure, Michelle, it must be so stressful to be closed right now. It's going to be even more stressful when all your clients come back and we've all self-trimmed. You're going to be giving us all kinds of new hairdos. So I don't really have enough time to do a whole new card tonight, but that first panel that I used to stamp off, I really feel like I could trim that down and make that look like a forest for the second card. I really like that. I don't know. I like the lack of stuff that's stamped. Makes it look a little bit more whimsical to me. Yeah, so we all miss our hairstylists. We're all soon, my hair will be down to here and I'll be putting it up in a ponytail. We're all going to be a mess, Jana. That's right. We are all going to be a mess. But that's okay because, patience, right? When it's all over, we're all going to run out and eat in all the restaurants, and we're going to be able to shop again, and we're going to be able to get together and hug each other and get our hair done and our nails done and all of that. I did polish my nails today, so that was something. Well, guys, so patience. So I did see another quote on patience, and it was just a simple quote. I don't know who it was by, but the quote was, God has perfect timing. He's never early and he's never late. So I like that, because a lot of times when we're thinking about our time and our clock, and we don't really understand the bigger picture. So, boy. So one more time, Rosie, is Tom shaving? Yes, he is, Rosie. He is shaving. He's just one of those guys that gets up in the morning, and even if nobody's going to see him, he'll still get up. He takes a shower, he shaves, puts a little gel in his hair. He always looks nice, always looks good. He cares about the way he looks, and just clean, you know? I like that. Oh, Jane, bushy eyebrows. Yes, I know. We are all going to be back to looking, especially if we can't get razors. Like, I can't get out to go to the drugstore to get razors. My razor's getting a little dull, but whatever, right? We'll just pretend it's no shave November around here. Well, guys, the final quote that I want to leave you with tonight, but I feel like I should do one more thing. I will show you what I was going to do for a background. Why don't I do that? Because we just have a few minutes here, and I don't want to leave too soon. So let me grab a piece of white cardstock. Here's a piece of white cardstock. And I'm going to cut this down to 5 by 3 3/4. You know, that's my favorite cut line, and a lot of you are excited that we have those dies coming out. And what I was going to do with these snowmen was I was going to do a little plaid strip across, and then I was going to have them just sitting on top of the plaid strip. And the way I was going to do that was I was going to use this stencil. This is our Sassy Stripes stencil. And I do have a little pixie spray on the back of that. And I was going to use some of the red ink. So let me grab that. Red Velvet, where are you? I know you're here. Here you are. So I was going to take a little bit of Red Velvet ink. And this is one of the blending brushes by Simon Says Stamp. It already had red ink on it, so I'm going to use it. I was going to blend some red over this stencil. We can definitely do this in another card. Maybe for our Wednesday Whimsy or Flashback Friday. There's always something that we can do with a background like this. And then I was going to crisscross it to make a plaid or a check pattern. So I'm going to take that off. Move my card out of the way. So there, that's so candy cane looking, isn't it? I love that. So I'm going to just clean off that red with my tidy towel. And then you could do any other color that you want with this. Now, because I want to use these for a holiday card, I really want it to, I still want it to be reddish, you know, so I don't want to go crazy and do a completely different color. So I think what I'm going to do is a little bit of orange. So I'm going to use the Tangerine Twist, and I have a brush here that has some orange on it, so I'll probably just use that. And then I'll do a little bit of orange going this way. And the reason why I picked orange is because I don't really want, like, I didn't want to use a blue because I really don't want to turn any of the parts purple. And the orange is good because the snowman's little nose is kind of an orange, so it'll pick up some of that. But this is fun because you can use this as a fun striped pattern, or you can make this fun little crisscross check pattern. So isn't that cute? This is also a really great stencil if you have baby cards to make and things like that, because, and spring cards. You can use all the pastels, Easter cards. It's just a nice stencil because you can use it in more than one way. We released this one around Christmas, and you know, we did the candy cane background, and it's also great for the glitter gels and things like that. But I also really like it for this look. So that's kind of a fun little background technique. And I was going to use just a strip of it. Where do you get the tidy towel? We have them in our store at GinaKDesigns.com. You can get them there. You can also get them at any of our fine retailers. We've got lots of retailers, local stores that I know some of them are even doing curbside pickup. And then for this one, I would cut it at 2 1/8 of an inch. And that gives me 2 strips that I can use for different cards. I think I'll take that down to 2 1/8 too. That is 2 1/8. So what happened? Maybe I'll go to 2 inches, and I'll do 2 2-inch ones. I could use a thicker one though. But the moral of that story is you can get 2 cards out of this, because you can have a little strip going across the center of a card like that, or you can have it going down the side of a card like that. So I'll save these for another card, and I will definitely use them. But there is my finished card. All right, guys. Well, we only have about 5 minutes left, so I'm going to leave you with a thought. What is the stencil called? I'm just trying to read your comments here. That stencil is called Sassy Stripes, like sassy. Yes. Okay, and I'm just kind of scanning through to see if there's any questions that I missed, although there are so many questions that I would really have to go back pretty far. But I know that Kathy Tidwell was here. She's one of our moderators. Karen Hightower is usually here. I think Karen's here. And then also all of you who are so wonderful and help each other answer questions. So hopefully some of your questions were able to get answered while I was busy making cards. All right, so my final quote for the night, and this is the one that's going up on Facebook. I always like to pick one that I put on Facebook. And I heard this so long ago. I think it may have been at church, or it may have been like we were just listening to a new gospel CD. But I just remember this little verse, and I can't even remember who the artists were, but the verse always stays in my head. And the words are, "He may not come when you call him, but he's always on time." So as we're sitting here watching more of our states go into stay-at-home mode, and we're seeing, some of the numbers go up with the different cases people are having. And remember, most of those people are just getting sick kind of like the flu, and then they're getting better again. We do know that we have at-risk people out there, and we're praying for them. And we're so thankful for all of the nurses, all of the doctors, and all of the other people that work in a hospital. Doctors and nurses are so wonderful, but there's so many support people that don't always get the recognition that they deserve with everything that's going on. We're so thankful and appreciative to all of them who are working so hard for us. We want to see this thing end, and we want to see it end really quickly, but I guess it just has to run its course, and we have to do our best to socially distance. We have to do social distancing. We have to stay home. We have to make cards. We just have to have a little patience. So tonight's quote that's going up on Facebook, "He may not come when you call him, but he's always on time." All right, you guys, I absolutely loved every minute of being with you here. On Wednesday, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. There's so many fun things that we could do. So I'm going to poke through my cabinets and see what I can come up with. That's kind of our free-for-all. And then Friday nights at 7 Central, I'll be doing the Flashback Friday. Seems like a lot of Flashback Friday stuff, though, because this is an old set as well. But it's always fun to give those stamp sets that have been sitting in our cabinets for a year or two a little bit of love. So yes, truckers, grocery store workers, pharmacists, I know all of those people, we need to pray for them, and we need to just make sure that they're in our thoughts. And I know a lot of you guys are making cards for them, and I think that that's wonderful. It's such another great way that we can use our crafty ability to brighten people's days. So thank you all for that. I love seeing pictures on Facebook where somebody has a whole bunch of cards that they made, and they say this is going to the hospital for all of the hospital workers. And yes, we can't forget the truckers and the grocery stores and those delivery people and everybody that's making this stay at home so much more bearable. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I've got some cleanup to do, and I've got to get back to work in the morning, but I will see you for Wednesday Whimsy. And you can find the, if you go to Gina K Designs YouTube or to our Facebook page, you will see where you can click to get a reminder for the next live, which will be Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Central Time. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. I love you all so much, and I'll see you again very soon. Have a great